Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, we are on time and we're live. We're live on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Twitch and X and Instagram. And I'll be honest, I haven't set up things behind me. As you can probably see, there are boxes waiting to be, shelves waiting to be put together. But I have moved. For those that have seen me before, I have moved, and there are people that are. Here we are, people that are here already with me, which is very exciting because we're doing things differently. We're doing things differently because we've got lots to tell you, and we've got lots of news, and it's just been the greatest, to be honest. So it's Saturday morning. Where are we? I'm rude. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us. It's always great to hear you, whether you're here now or later. Let me know in the chat. If you're here now, put a 1. If you're here later, put a 2 right now. So if you're here later, don't forget, put a 2 right now, and we'll know that you're not here at the moment. Yep. So without any further ado, welcome to Belonging in Business. We are here live everywhere, and we have guests, amazing humans who I adore. And this morning we are here for inclusion. I hope you're ready for that, because here for inclusion is a foregone conclusion. I'm a poet and I didn't know it, or maybe I did. It's something that we have been talking about for a long, long time. And I've got 2 very important people who are inclusion themselves, actually. I think they've described themselves as, I think I'm going to ask him to describe himself, actually. And then his counterpart, is that it? Is his other person, the other person there? Oh, do you know what? We've got 3 now. It's like inclusion is breeding. I'll be honest, inclusion is the only pandemic that you need to be part of. It literally is. So that's the pandemic to be part of. And we are, well, I'll be honest, we're the perpetrators of inclusion. That's what we are. I think that's maybe a bit harsh, but I definitely am. I'm infectious in whatever way, whether it's that you either love me or you hate me. I'll be honest, you just don't ignore me, do you? And that's maybe a little bit harsh, but it's true. So yeah, I'm not easily ignored. Yeah, that's because I'm fairly easy to see. Somebody said to me on Zoom, in fact, it was one of my bosses said to me on Zoom the other day, yesterday, that's it. She said, "Oh, your hair doesn't look as purple on the screen." So on the 29th of March, if you want to, you can come and see just how purple my hair is. I literally, listen, you cut me, and I bleed purple. I am literally purple through and through. If you cut me like a stick of rock, it says inclusion in rainbow on a purple background. That's what it does. So what I've made a decision about that, about purple and about rainbows, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about purple power. We're going to talk about purple paper. It's all going to be a bit purple, but we're also going to talk, just in the midst of that, about rainbows. I like rainbows. And I only decided this about 30 seconds ago. It wasn't. It was a while ago. It was with Jew. We've been working already, me and Jew. It's what we do when we get up. We don't bother buggering about in bed. Me and Jew get up at 4. Sometimes he's a bit late. That's all right. We don't mind. I'll introduce you to Jew in a minute. So he's up at 4. He sees me at that end of the day. And then I've got a kind of spotter. He's all over, like literally. You want to know where he is? He's everywhere. And that's our James. He's on his way. He's nearly there. We've had a couple of stuttering starts with our James. Not sure whether that would be what it said on his school report. He's a trier. He's loyal. Stuttering starts. Not always get it first time. Our Jew's pretty much the same. We've had 3 goes round with Jew. I'll be talking about that in a minute and what I'm on about. It's not just rainbows. We do have some. And then there's Chris. Well, he's like, well, what is he? He's like the star in it, like the boy at the class that sits at the front and the teacher's like, you see, look at him, have a look at him, see what he did. It's a terrible way of teaching, terrible. But if I had Chris at the front of my class, I'd just be sitting him there. I would have been like, look, see, do what he did. Do what he did. That's not nice. But he is a bit ahead of the gang. Like, he's got a 3-year commitment. He hadn't even been committed for 3 years, but he is committed to us for 3 years now. Can you imagine having to commit to something for 3 long years? But he has, like a degree. Yeah, like a degree. I suppose everyone commits to 3 years. You see, everybody commits to something for 3 years. I'm just talking rubbish now, aren't I? I've been reading a book this week. I do every week. We might have to get to the book of the week. That's a thing. Maybe other people could bring their book of the week, but my book of the week, this one, is just do that. That's it. All I want you to do is that. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're just doing that. It's not difficult, although it is challenging. So before I bring the gentleman on, that's it. There's no ladies here yet. We might get some later. There might be some below that I can't see because I'm new to this vibe. Ooh. In here, you get a vibe of the day. And this one is a bit powerful. Jew agrees with it before they come on. But we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about lots of things today and really what we want. We've got ages. It's belonging in business. We've got an hour, right? We're on LinkedIn. We're here. We're on Twitter. We're not rushing. There's no panic, is there? I'm Mandy Jane, by the way, or MJ. Right. So the ego is a small voice within. It's not so small sometimes, is it? I said that, not the book. It's the voice that tells us that we're not good enough or our dreams aren't possible. It's the voice that sends our anxiety haywire. I think we all know that, don't we? I've certainly experienced it. The best way to imagine the ego is to think of it as an unwanted house guest. It's all right, I'm going to have to press this Voxer because it's an app and it's my coach. So going, oi, oi. Don't know whether she wants a link, but she's not coming because I can't send a link and do it. I'm not a real woman. Oh, I can't say that. I'm not very good at multitasking. That's the best thing I can say. But they used to say, didn't they? And they used to say, they used to say that that murderers had jug ears. Like that's what they used to say. Like people's unconscious bias, wild. But there's mine saying that. So we're all human. An unwanted house guest. The type that leaves a mess behind them and thinks no one but themselves. Yep. Basically, your ego's that in mental form. It is. It's like the unwanted house guest that just leaves a in their wake. But having an ego is one of the requirements of being human. Handy, that, isn't it? Nice. We have to wrangle with that all of our life. So get ready. If you've not worked it out already, we are. It comes with the mortal shell. Mine's not so good at finishing things off. It's a reminder of the limitations that exist within the physical realm. Absolutely, I can't fly yet. But it's important to know that your ego, I want a hover bike eventually. That's where I'm going. Hover bikes is the next big thing for me. That's what we're having. It cut you wait and see. The limitations at the moment now, I can't get a hover bike. If anyone knows how to make one, if they could come to me, I'd be very grateful. I'd like to invest in hover bike making. That would be great. Anyway, back to the ego. There we are. There's my ego. Talking about the future again. I tell you. Ego, massive. I have to wrangle with it all the time. Like, get on the floor. Come here. Just get vulnerable with my ego. Or maybe angry. That doesn't work, I don't think. But it's important to know that your ego isn't working against you. Oh, I'm not sure. Did you hear me? I'm wrangling. It says it's not. It says it's not. It says it's not evil. What do you reckon? Is my ego evil? I don't know. It's just acting the only way it knows how. Okay. So it needs to learn. Like Christian at the front of the class. And our James coming up behind with a couple of faltering starts. And our Jew just going, whatever. Like, bring it on, it'll happen when it happens. 3 different ways, right? In fact, your ego has a purpose. I'm not sure mine does. Let's see at the end of this. I love this vibe. I'm loving it. It's the right day for the right vibe. It's number 24. You want to know? I don't know who wrote this book. I don't even know. Vex King. Sorry. Vex King. So don't worry about it because Vex King wrote it. Don't vex, King. Don't vex. You'll be king of your own vibration. That's wild, isn't it? It's a new edition of high vibe tools to support your spiritual awakening. That's what's happening this morning. Getting a spiritual awakening. You didn't know that this morning, did you? When you woke up, you didn't think, I know what's going to happen in 10 minutes. I'm going to have a spiritual awakening. Well, here we are. We provide spiritual awakenings free online. Like, Jesus, what? Hang on. That's a bit wild, isn't it? Have a free spiritual awakening. Thanks for that. Well, it wasn't free. I had to buy it. I don't know how much. $12.99 from Hay House. They should sponsor me, really. Hey, house, right now. Come on. Thank you. Let me know. Give us a ring. Anyway, it's still important to know that your ego isn't working against you. It's not evil. It's just only doing what it knows. In fact, it's got a purpose. I know it's hard to accept that. Like me, I've just not accepted it then, did I? I wasn't accepting it. Clearly, I wasn't. I must know what this is going to say. I have read it. I couldn't remember. I've got no idea what it says. I think I might have. Anyway, we won't talk about my short-term memory right now. I'm writing lists everywhere in list form and then I'm decanting those lists. Literally something to do with my short-term memory. If you feel the same, come and talk to me. If you can remember to. Sorry. That wasn't very good. It's my ego, I would imagine. I know it's hard to accept that, see, but it does. It writes a failure story. There you go. I'm talking out my ego. I just think I've got a funny ego. It writes a failure story to our success dreams, not to hold us back. Oh, not to hold us back. It doesn't do that. It doesn't write a failure story to our success dreams to hold us back. No, but to give us a choice. You see, I read that like I'd never read it because I haven't. I hadn't heard it. I heard it in a different way there. To give us a choice. It thinks about the worst possible outcome, not to limit us, but to help us decide what story we're going to allow to be our truth. Wow. Like, that is the beauty of a limited short-term memory capacity currently, which is why I'm going to talk to a neurologist. That everything's like you've heard it the first time, and I'll be honest, I think that's my naivety. I am literally shocked by the world all the time. I'm like, wow, look at that. Look at that. There's some money there for somebody somewhere. I get so excited. And I think that helps live in this world. I do find it hard. Somebody said to me the other day, I think they were trying to con me. I didn't manage it. He said to me, the thing that's protected you, basically, from your madness, he might as well have said, he said, did you know you're ADHD? I said, actually, I'm more than that. And literally. He went, it's your mind that's kept you safe. I said, well, from what? He went, well, you. I was like, oh, you mean my madness? Yeah, I know. Your ego is limited. So what we're going to allow to be our truth, here we are. I can say I'm mad if I want. I don't have to be. I can be sane. I'm not sure I can do it for long. I can definitely do some sane performances. I have no problem in being something else, but it's an ego trip and I don't like it. It's uncomfortable and I don't like it. I know when I feel better because the feelings I get are warm and soft and together. And when I don't do what I meant to do or feel like it's right, then I get really anxious and uncomfortable and shaky. So the ego is limited by the physical, see? I get shaky and I feel sick and all a bit weird. But we are not. Wow. We are not. Because, of course, we're not the ego, are we? You, me, it says you, but I mean me. Obviously, I'm included. I hope so. We're talking about inclusion. If I'm not, it's a bit not right, is it? We're not including you. Why? Because it's inclusion and you're part of it. What? We're going to exclude you, eh? Especially if you are a member of it. Eh? There are some charities that are like that. Doesn't make sense. You can give it all away for free. What? I'm not sure that works. Anyway, we're not limited by that. We're a spiritual being within the physical world. True. Your truth is not limited by gravity. See, I'm going to get off a bike. I'm raising my vibration to hover bike insurance. That'll be a big. Can you imagine how big that's going to be? Hover bike insurance. There's a new job for 2030. I'm a hover bike insurance expert. Why? Because I created it and the insurance. When you're dealing, that'd be work, wouldn't it? That'd be like the PPP, wouldn't it? PPI. That'd be like being part of the government and then selling the PPI contract to your mate. Is that what happened to his brother or something? Yeah, it'd be like that, wouldn't it? Maybe if you were a single entity business and you found a friend that could do something that extended your business, but if you run the government, it's not a right good idea. You're probably best to advertise it, put it out to that tender thing and make sure it's fair and equitable. I'm sure it was. We were doing weird things in COVID, weren't we? Because we were limited not by gravity, but we were we were limited by all sorts, weren't we? Well, some of us were. I'm not sure. All of us. When you're dealing with your unwanted house guest, I think that happens in government. Unwanted house guests. I don't think Guy Fawkes was a wanted house guest, was he, in government? It can be any, I guess he had a big ego. I'm going to bomb you. What? So it's silly, isn't it? Not going to get very far, are you? As different ways. I don't think bombing things is a plan. Anyone that was thinking about that, don't. Guy Fawkes didn't have it. He didn't know what he was doing, I don't think. It was a bit daft. I think it's a bit daft. Anyway, answers on a postcard. Why the hell did you do that? I better go on research, really. I'm probably talking rubbish. You can probably tell me in a minute, boys. It can be, boys, that was wrong, wasn't it? No boys here. It can be easy to fight and bicker with it, like I've just done for half an hour. Not quite, 15. Still bickering. But today you're encouraged to let that be your old story. See, I'm making friends with my ego live on air. I'm having forgotten what was I? I'm having a spiritual awakening. I think it's quite fun. It doesn't hurt. I'm not in pain. Well, I am, but not from the spiritual awakening. I had some pain earlier, burst into tears. I said to Jew earlier, he'll come on in a minute. I said to Jew earlier, I said, oh, I'm not in pain where I want to cry today. I'm in pain when I want to, well, I won't tell you what I said. I wasn't too happy. And then about 5 minutes later, I burst into tears. I went, oh, now apparently I'm crying. So I'm not in pain from the spiritual awakening. It doesn't make me cry. It doesn't make me want to, not be reasonable. Fighting and bickering, I think the word is. When you're challenged by your ego every day, every damn day, it's like managing a tigress, a wildcat. It's like managing a wildcat. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's an opportunity to rise. Probably in a hoverbike. I reckon we're there. I reckon that's it. It's a given. Like inclusion, it's a conclusion. I think hoverbikes are the next thing. And I'd quite like one for access to work, please. So I think we should add those to a contract for people. Once we have hoverbikes, I think that's going to be the best way for me to get people from A to B as quick as can so that they can go and earn some more money. That's what we want. We want to create taxpayers. So, hello, ego. There you go. We want to create taxpayers. How ego-driven is that? Why? Well, I'd quite like civil service jobs to be well paid. Why? Because I quite like government to be well run. Why? Well, it's my country. Why? Because it's about me. It's a bit selfish, isn't it, MJ? Yep. Hello, ego. Thanks for being here and sharing your opinion. You see, I do that as I'm screaming into the void. Sharing your opinion. Today, me though, outside my ego, I'm choosing my own truth and living that miraculous story to the maximum and being who I am. Whether my hair looks as purple as it should, whether or not you come on the 29th of March, whether or not our inclusion launch is as large as I imagine it already to be, or whether there's 3 of us. You know what it says in the Bible, where 2 or more come together, I exist. So we're inviting God. That'll do. You're invited too, but God's coming, so be ready because there'll be a spiritual awakening. It doesn't hurt. You'll be all right. You can have a coffee while it happens. It's like having blood. You know when you donate blood, you can have a cup of tea and a biscuit after. It's like that. You can have a spiritual awakening. You can come to some awarenesses. Then you can have a coffee and you can go home. It won't hurt. And you'll be better for it. It's not easy. But when you're challenged by your ego, it's an opportunity to rise. Correct. So instead of fighting it, thank it for sharing its story. Yeah. And then choosing your truth. You'll find you become at one with your ego. Wow. I can't wait because I wake up fighting with it. The other day, I didn't want to get out of bed. It was like, oh, it's comfy, this new bed. You've got a new bed. What are you doing? Getting out of it. I was like, because I've got things to do. It was like, no, you deserve this. Stay. But I didn't. I chose my truth after I thanked it for its story. Thanks for your story, ego. You can go to one right now. I've things to do. It's 4 o'clock. Come on now. You choose your truth. And my truth was I had to get on with stuff because I've got things to do. I had to do a medicine awareness course this week. I wasn't too worried. I was a bit worried. Anyway, it's done. And I passed. Got a certificate and everything. Then you'll find that you become one with your ego and the fear is outweighed by love. So actually, this spiritual awakening is you and your ego becoming friends, equal, that you get an opportunity to rise and you're full of love. Like, that sounds like a right good spiritual awakening to me. Vibe 24 can stay. Making friends with your ego, that's what it's called. I could have known what it was about at the beginning, couldn't I? If I'd just read the first line. And that started with the ego is a small voice within. I still think mine's louder than yours. Well, I would, wouldn't I? Because I'm ego driven. Hello, ego. Thanks for being here and sharing your opinion. Today I'm choosing my own truth and living that miraculous story to the maximum. I realise, so do you, it's not just about me. Well, it's about us. All about us. We realise, let's say it together. We realise, it's like church, although it's not Sunday, it's Saturday morning. I don't think God minds what day it is. Or spiritual awakenings, I don't think they're bothered about the day either. You're going to be listening to this again and again anyway, and later. If you want a spiritual awakening, I would. Like, you could have more than one in a day, couldn't you, if it's on replay? You could have one every minute. Like, sounds like a good weekend to me. Yeah, I realise just by saying this with me now, can you imagine? Every time you do. Like, what? Because when you book things from the universe, if anyone's ever read the Cosmic Universal Energy thing, Cosmic Ordering Service, that's another book, go and get it. It's only about 30 pages long. Cosmic Ordering Service, I'll tell you why, because it's very simple. The whole book just says, it's part of this, isn't it? Raise your vibration, the Cosmic Ordering Service, how you become personally effective. I usually give it as part of personal effectiveness at work, but people have to raise their vibration and have spiritual awakenings everywhere, don't they? It's not just at work, although we usually save it for work colleagues because, well, you have to get something free for going to work, don't you? It's long and it's developmental, but it's long. So I think spiritual awakening should come free. What they do in our place. So this spiritual awakening that we're having is about that. It's about an opportunity to rise. I realise that today is an opportunity to call back my power. Back. Everything within us was everything we had. Just got to connect with those energies. And I'll tell you why. Because what happens genetically is that if we have an aberration, if we have a break, if we have a fracture, if we have a problem, if we're not forgiven, if we're not making friends with our ego and every other ego that we've been encountered with, then we are not at one. And when we're not at one, we're disconnected from the universe and the flow isn't as eager. It's just like turning on a tap or off, as the case may be. I'll get through to this vibe of the day. I'm halfway through. We'll get there all the way through at the end, I promise. We'll just say it together all the way through once I actually get to the end. You'll see it. It's here. We're nearly there. But it's only a small incantation to get to the vibe. You're not going to get a spiritual transformation until you've said it. So you're not there yet, but you will in a bit. Yeah, so hello, ego. Thanks for being here. Here I am. I've not gone anywhere. And share it. Thanks for being here and sharing your opinion. So listen, you've got to listen to that voice, the one that talks about before and after. The ego only talks in the past or the future. It makes promises that, well, I'll be honest, often not that true. Might be telling you some fibs. But it's an opportunity today to call back my power, remember. Today I'm choosing my own truth and living with that miraculous story to the maximum. I realise that it's a day today, this one, whenever love is present, I love this. Fear is a stranger. Thank God for that. Yeah. We've got an antidote to fear. Like, that's an incantation from heaven, isn't it? Clearly, because I'm a celestial being, born to fulfill my purpose. It doesn't say that. That's just what I just said. It doesn't say that. Although it should say that, shouldn't it? It should say I'm a celestial being born to fulfill my purpose. That's what it should say, but it doesn't. I'm adding that line later. I realise that today is an opportunity to call back my power. Whenever love is present, fear is a stranger. Like, embody that one. When you feel frightened, just think, love, job done. That's it, because you've had an incantation, you've got spiritual awakening, you've had the thing, you've been here, you did the thing, you've passed, you've got the certificate. Well, I have anyway. You can have one if you want one that you got here. You can all have a certificate if you want to say you got here, if you think it was a good idea. You can have it every week if you want. You can have one every week. You can put them on your wall. We can make wallpaper, whatever you want. We'll be drop shipping soon, that very wallpaper with your certificate on. We won't. We won't be doing that. Maybe we will. I want planning to. I want planning to do this though. Whenever love is present, fear is a stranger. And love is here where, oh my God, within me, I am love. Not just, I've got love, not just a talk love. I am love. I am love. I am love. So it all comes back to I am, which is God, and then love. So God is love, or love is God. So we get God by love. I think that's what it says here today. So making friends with your ego is about being in love with yourself. And I've always said that you have to fall redonkulously, not irredonkulously, redonkulously, and ridiculously, and ludicrously, and irrefutably in love with yourself. And I think people thought that was a bit arrogant. But I'll be honest, I'm in desperate love with inclusion because it's about us. You know, there's a big us in the middle. Yeah, it says that you can see it there. It's us. So it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about the us. So we're going to raise our vibration now, and then we're going to talk about what's going on with inclusion. And I'm going to tell people what's on inclusion because good morning, everybody in the entire world. We are nearly halfway through the show. Sorry.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
What's happening with our Joe? He's gone black. Joe? We're not going back. Come on. He's gone. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, listen. We're hurtling towards the 29th of March. I know it's only Saturday the 24th of February, but it's 5 weeks. Like in that time, whole worlds occur. However, it feels like it'll be next weekend. So we're going to have to start getting some footage out there about what's going on. And we're going to be together in Cardiff, for those that are coming, at Blackwater Gallery. And we are launching inclusion. Chris, I just want to say well done, because whatever the answer at the end of the day of this, we have just evidence from the idea that we all had that said, actually, if this happens, then we can then help people to do things. And now we've got 3 years of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, morning. He's not listening.
He can't hear you. I've got my earbuds in.
I see that he wasn't ignoring me. I was like,
I know.
Dad, he's not kind that he can't hear me. Anyway, I'll talk to him later. It's the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I am 10 till 4, but I've got a bit late. Anyway, we'll talk.
Yes.
It's not the same as authority. I can't log out of. I can't. But I can log out of here because nobody cares if I go to the toilet. Well, they don't care if I'm allowed to go to the toilet. They don't stop me doing that. That's not. I mean, some places do, but not this one,
no.
Which is good. But I am busy, so at the moment, so I'm raising our vibration. But 29th of March, we're going to be in Blackwater, and I'm going to be presenting with some other people that are yet to be disclosed because I'm very excited, and I just want to make sure that everything's in place and I've dotted the I's and crossed the T's. But I'm very excited, and we've got quite a lot of stuff there and quite a lot of happenings. The lady going to be doing facials, and I've got all of the drinks and products that I use and have developed an affinity to, and that isn't just like the coffee. Like literally, I do. But I've got like the greatest thing in the entire world in that I use oils now to develop my senses, but not just any oils. I use really pure oils that already make it for us. So I use things like Balance. Now, for people who aren't balanced, I'm not saying that I'm not balanced. I'm just saying, a bit doolally. This combination, not doolally, but a little bit skitty. I have a little bit of a triggered. I have stress drops. Stress. Look. Right, I'm stressed. Well, I'm not stressed because I'm on the stress drops. I was stressed. I got quite anxious before performing, and I just don't care anymore. Well, I do care. I care really a great deal. I don't feel at the same vibration anymore because I've settled my sympathetic and my parasympathetic system. I'm just, it's only with the, you got to, you see what I'm saying? It's not just one thing. It's all the things. It's all the things. It's all the things. It literally is like literally all the things, all of them. So that's just it. That's what I find is raising my vibration. Right? A combination of things. I mean, also, I don't know why I'm showing you this, but also screen cleaning. I don't tell that, but I should, because I just think it's the greatest thing. I meet people and they have dirty screens, and I think, why do you not have
I'm glad you showed us the smoke device, because just at the moment it was just smoke popping. Was starting a bit concerned.
She's on fire. She's on fire.
You're always on fire.
This girl is on fire because she can even install link. She can even install it, and she can. It's just powerful. However, I really love this. A friend of mine, it's only February. I've got nothing on here. Apparently, from February doesn't exist. A friend of mine got me a calendar this year at Christmas. Absolutely amazing. And this month says, "Hold on, let me overthink this shit." And at the bottom it says, "All of your feelings are fucking valid." Oh, sorry for anyone that doesn't. Sorry, God. Sorry, everyone to do with God, all of His nations, and everyone in it. I'm so sorry. I'm human. I'm very failed at being not human. I'm gonna try. I'll get a Neuralink today, and then inclUSion is launching because both directors, even though one's only half here, it's almost perfect because he's not quite cooked, right? James has gone through once, so he's real. You can see him and hear him in a minute. And you're real because you're now 3 years now. You're not just real, you're permanent.
Yes.
You're not on a 6-month job, you're on a 3-year. You don't get out until what we are, 20 or 7.
Yeah.
27. You're in till 20. And there's no time off for good behaviour in this club. Like, you do all 3 years. Like there's no, oh, my mum's written me a note. Like I don't care where your mum wrote you a note from. It's not happening. Like, it's not happening. So now, that's it. You're tied in for 3 years. That's how do you feel?
Brilliant. Fabulous. I've got to say that both Marie and Fran deserve a lot of credit as well for
amazing
the conversation. You know, the way that we did the other day, and I can't believe it. I couldn't quite believe when the email came back.
And the fact that we predicted what they'd say about the fact that you're entitled to that Access to Work Plus program. But I'll tell you this for nothing. I'm yet to find that of any benefit apart from making me go and get a hotel, go a long way, go and see somebody in a place that nobody cares about the built environment. They don't care. It's not their business. And that's the one reason why you'd go somewhere. Why would you go somewhere? So you can fix the built environment for the people in the wheelchairs, or people with broken necks, or the people with one hand, or the people that are blind. Just talking about inclUSion representatives. That's all I'm saying right now. That's just a handful of us. Or the ones with polio that can't walk or see. Right? Or the ones with progressive MS that are in a care facility. Right? That's why you'd go and see somebody. But no, they wanted to go and see you. Why? Were they going to show him eye gaze? No, they weren't. Were they going to show him the frames that fixed to his wheelchair? No. Were they going to bring him a 4x4 standing frame chair? No, they weren't. Did they tell him about the software that would give him switch access that he could use with his eyes? No, they won't. What they'll do is they'll say, do you want a desk and a chair? Well, you know what? He doesn't. What he wants is a tray over his very specific wheelchair that's tiltable that he can add his eye gaze to on a different frame. And I don't believe they'll send somebody that knows how to do that. So inclUSion is an action. And in order that we get our directors in place for inclUSion, we need you to be financially, well, what do they call us? What is it? Economically active. Economically active. So let's economically activate ourselves, raise our level. Yeah. Let's economically act. We're doing that. We're doing that through the power of love. So you can all do one. We're not doing it through the power of capitalism. We're doing it through the power of love. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Because I have worked out the algorithm. Worked it out. And I've been taught by somebody really important in my life this week. And it's probably the greatest challenge I've had. I'm not gonna name names. I'm going to tell tales. But I am going to say that when I faced a challenge, I've wanted to run away. There's been lots of times I've hidden under the quilt. There's been lots of times when I've gone, ooh, especially when I've promised to do something and then I've gone, oh shit, I've got to fulfill it now. Last weekend I promised to do a meditation, and I am going to do those later because people have committed that money to inclusion. Now I'm putting myself out of my comfort zone then, because I want those people to to have a spiritual awakening. Otherwise, I've not done what I said on the tin, right? It's not about me, it's about them. But for me to believe in myself and make those and put that out there into the world, I've got to believe in myself, and I've got to fully love myself. And that's been a really hard journey for me. But it's taken a lot of different things. It's a big connection. And one of them is challenging myself. And I've been challenging myself beyond belief for the last, since I woke up after COVID. I've been challenging myself like I've never challenged myself before. And I've done that because I don't know how long this bit lasts. I know the next bit's fine. It's just this bit, I've got a bit to do. So I feel like I've got to get on with it. And I think many people that are told that they don't have a great length of time in the world, like they're not going to make old bones kind of thing, or they've had some scares, or they've had long-term treatment that's kept them here. I know without the NHS I wouldn't be here. So I know that things like my kidneys aren't that great. They're not. They're in failure. All those things, and everything depends on whether you get one. And we've got clients that have got livers and kidneys and hearts, and I haven't got a brain yet. Some of them, not that they haven't got a brain. I mean, we haven't fixed it yet. We've all got a heart. Whether we get spare ones, I don't know. But we've got people with not spare, but I've got spare body parts. I've got 4 kidneys, but they don't work. So I do have spares, but I'm not giving them away. But we do have people that get ones. So even if you're in failure, it doesn't automatically mean anything. We've got clients whose kidneys don't work and they're in dialysis all the time, 24 hours. And I've had access to work arguing with them. That client actually didn't have PIP when they came to us, which is what I'm coming on to. So I've been pondering this, and I had a conversation with our Jen yesterday. You'll meet her one day. She's a bit busy at the minute, commanding the world. And we had this conversation about how do we get it out there? How do we let people know what it is that we do? Well, apart from this, which is obvious. And I've made a decision because I've wrangled with online platforms and hourly rates and contributions and £7 a month John Lee Club, and come and pay me £1,999.99, and nobody does that anymore, for a year's access, all that malarkey. If you give it away, what you do? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm giving it away. Well, I'm not. I'm both giving it away. I'm not. It's like Schrodinger's. I'm both giving it away and I'm not giving it away. I'm not giving it away because why should I? And also, I'm not giving it away because I'm valuable, just like you are. We all are. We're incredibly valuable. And so are these gentlemen here today. And everyone else in inclusion, and everyone else in accessibility partners, and everyone else that's been raising their vibration ever since they got on board and they were here for inclusion. That's it. That's the only question you've got to ask yourself today is, are you here for inclusion? If you are, then be here. Because it's the only global pandemic that you need to be part of. And what we're going to do to promote inclusion, because inclusion's a verb. I know it's not, but it is. Inclusion's a doing word, and I need to do some doing. And I've got to also create a catalogue, literally a catalogue. It needs to be full of everything I've ever known. And I think this is what happens for people when they are coming to what Erickson said was the 7th, I don't know, I think it was 7 life stages, the end one. After they've gone through adult and into, oh my God, I'm old. And that's why I'm going to tell you what's going to happen about being old, because I am old, by the way. I know I shouldn't say old, but older than I was. I'm older than I was. And I'm not looking at the middle. I'm not going, oh, I need kids, because that's what happens in this stage, in the adult stage. Oh, I want kids. Oh, look, I want to make my imprint. Oh, look, I want a job. Oh, I want a recognition. Oh, I want a house. Oh, I want. And then you move through that and you're like, oh, did I do a good job? Did I? And thinking that we've done a good job is when we've planted those seeds of tomorrow. So legacy. So did we make legacy? And for disabled people, right? And I'm not just talking about inclusion for disability. I'm talking about inclusion per se. Inclusion of everyone, just us, all about us. It's not about any special thing. It's not about being black. It's not about being queer. It's not about being disabled. It's just about us. It's not about me. Well, it is. It's not about you. Well, it is. But it absolutely is about us. And I've worked out that somebody told me the other day that this year in the London Marathon, that disabled participants are going to get the same prize award as non-disabled participants. Well, bully for you. Which year did you not work that out was right? What are you going to do about the rest of the years when you underpaid the disabled champions then? What are you doing about that? What are you doing about ratifying? Is that the word? What are you doing about making that fair? What? It's all right announcing that you've got to that. Oh, well done. Well done. I'm not being aggressive, but well done, yeah? Don't celebrate that with me. Come to me and say, I'm sorry. Can we fix it? That's what we did, didn't it? When we enslaved people. We said, let me fix that. And that's where we're going with inclusion. People will be recognised. This will be fixed. They have to fix that. That's it. But I mean, well, I'm here for inclusion. And I think the answer is, are you here for inclusion? If you're not, come and see me. Because I want to understand why, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do about that is I'm going to tell everybody everything all of the time, everywhere. And if you want to come along to a thing like this that you're seeing now, except I'm going to literally raise your vibration in terms of, and for those of you that have been part of having an hour with me, where you've asked for a problem, a formulation, a way of solving a challenge in the world. I'm not talking about if you're rich. I'm not talking about if you're poor. I'm not talking about whatever you are. I'm talking about running your life in the world as a person with any form of difficulty, mental, as we've talked about, me, physical, as we've talked about, hello. Oh, God, that's loud, isn't it? Physical, psychological, psychosocial, biopsychosocial, you're born with a chronic disorder like me. I mean, I am the chronic disorder. I'm joking. Things like, rheumatoid arthritis, endometriosis, spina bifida, and anything. Diabetes, literally. Oh, I get hives. Yeah, well, that'll be when you're stressed. Come here. It's just got to substantially affect you for 6 months or longer. And that's pregnancy. If it substantially affects you, it doesn't generally do in the first trimester, which is how they get away with it, right? It's not actually a disability, although I've been pregnant like loads and it is. I'm telling you. Anyone that says it isn't, they can get lost. Getting yourself behind the wheel of a car. Nigh on impossible, man. If that's not a disability, I don't know what is. I couldn't get behind. It was crazy. Literally couldn't reach the steering wheel. All those babies were up front. Well, the boys were anyway. When I had the other gender, I could just get anywhere I wanted. I just couldn't fit down corridors. Anyway, just saying, that's what happened to me. So I think it is a disability when you're pregnant. Well, it was for me. I couldn't get around. I couldn't get up. So that's what I mean. If it substantially affects you, I think everyone will now think about pregnancy in a different way, and so they should. Then it's a disability. And we all don't. Well, I don't think we generally grow gay, although some people do come out and accept who they are. I just happen to just love the world. That's helpful. Gives them the vibration today. Or we don't really grow black. We might learn that our ancestors are black, particularly if we have already met them. It's easier, isn't it? Oh, I know why, because I knew them. I didn't have to guess. Yeah. It's all right. That's a bit more awareness. It's not like, oh, bloody hell. I mean, we are all, by the way. We are all. Just saying, for those people who are racist, go and have a look. So we didn't just turn up this colour. Just saying. It's complicated, I think, as a whole. It's not just about colour, is it? It's about culture. And we are a cult. So if you want to join the cult, I suggest that the 29th of March, when we launch, is a good idea to join the cult in Cardiff. A Welsh cult, I think, is what we're creating. A culture. It's all about us, and we are joining together, and we'll be raising our vibrations with what we drink, what we do, and how we move, and the things we learn. And I would bring your notebooks. And on that note, I've made a decision. As part of inclusion, everybody needs a pencil sharpener or a quill. I haven't decided. They might need some ink and a quill or a pencil sharpener. I don't know. I think a pencil sharpener will eradicate the need for a pen and quill, because it's not ink and quill, because that's just archaic. But I think that's what they want. But anyway, We haven't got that. But we do have DocuSign, but that's not good enough. If you're disabled, don't come to me with DocuSign. That's a product that has been accepted in law as an electronic way to agree to something that you've done, or that you want to do, or that you agree to. Just a way of signing your signature if you haven't got arms, or you've only got one arm, Christian, or you've broken your neck, James, or you've got progressive MS and you just shake and can't sign shit, or you're blind like our Trey because you can't see. I'm just saying he's totally blind and they expect him to sign a wet signature. So we're going to go for, I've decided that the way for inclusion to talk to me, if I'm going to parody our government, is we all should all get a rainbow pencil and a pencil sharpener, because nobody's got one, so you need to go and get one. Go and get a pencil sharpener and a rainbow pencil and write to me at inclUSion to join the club in a rainbow pencil by snail mail. Send it second class. Only send one letter in one envelope, because if you send more than one, I'm not going to open it. I won't find it. I'll lose it. I'll only read it if it gets to me in one envelope. If I was you, I'd send it recorded delivery, because if you don't, I'll probably lose it. I'll probably just not open it. Probably that day I'll just open the recorded delivery and throw the rest in the bin. I might shred them accidentally. I'll do that. I do that because I can't be bothered. And then the ones that I do eventually open after you've probably sent it about 3 or 4 times, which is fine, just keep sending it. If I don't answer, and I'm not, just keep sending it. Just keep sending it to me. Eventually I'll answer, and I might put somebody on it eventually when I can be bothered. Well, when somebody's there. I might take some people on, I might not, I haven't decided. And then when you do that, I might give you a membership. I just think if we do that, then I'm copying the government, and I think as a government agent, that's what I should do, isn't it? Aren't they the people that lead the way? Aren't they the people that in the Roman times were the ones that were more learned and understood the way to do things? Right? Now they did. That's what was going on, right? So that's what they reckoned. That's why we ended up with capitalism. I don't know. I'm not very history. You are, Christian. You can fill me in on how the hell. I know how we got from York to London. I know why. I know the king marched off going, I'm the king, really. I'm not going to go into that because people say I'm a nutter. But yeah, the York Road to London was very important. I know all of it's important. It's like I know the answer, but I never know how I get there. That's what happens with my autism, is that I know the answer, but I can't really work things out yet. Some people call it fortune telling. It's not. It's not. It's just because I'm very good at cold reading. I'm very good at putting things together in blocks. And sometimes I don't get the whole picture, but it's a bit like yesterday when I did my pharmacy exam. You just need enough. You don't need to know everything all at once, everywhere, all the time. You just need to know a percentage enough about something to be able to start practicing it. Like, if you know how to stretch a band, you can buy some TheraBands and start exercising if you've only got one hand. Hook it on your foot. No, you literally. I mean, honest, TheraBands are amazing. There's always a way. And these things I'm going to give away. I'm going to give them away in bite-sized people where people can come, ask me questions, and get the ways to circumnavigate things like PIP, ESA, UC, access to work, DSA. People might not know what the hell I'm on about. And if I'm not, go look at these acronyms. Do it alone. It's a bit like, don't fly out of an aeroplane on your own. Don't be a noodle. Don't just get a parachute and jump. Hey, I watched a thing on Instagram with a boy who was doing that free running jump, whatever they call it. Yeah, literally. And he was jumping off a very high building in Japan. So I'll be robbed. People kill me now. He jumped off and his parachute didn't work. I mean, but he was so happy. He was so happy. I was happy. He was really happy. Like, don't do that.
Right up until he hit the hard bit below him.
Well, yeah, I don't think he remembers.
No.
And that's fine, isn't it? At the end of the day, I thought, well, he died doing something he really didn't. I'm sure all his family went, look, he decided to jump off a big tall building in Japan. Like, everybody in Japan was like, oh, it was nobody went near him. You wouldn't know, would you? You'd be like, no, I'm not gonna know. My dog, when he fell down the cliff, he was in a terrible state. You just don't, I was like, oh, I don't know. No, but he didn't stay around. But the thing is, He did what he wanted, didn't he? He had a choice. Oh, I can't do that for a living, is it? I can't do that. Nobody will let me in the building. It's not fair. It's not fair. I want inclusion. I'm joking. I do think sometimes, that people talk about inclusion in that way. I want the same. What? And somebody said to me at work the other day, I think that they're that used to hearing we want the same. You ask for anything different now, people are like, oh no, they wanted the same. Well, I just want to put it out there in a little bit of context. That when I said I wanted the same, which I didn't, I said I wanted equity. Yeah. And I want everyone not only to have a pair of shoes, but I'd like them all to have a shoe that fit. Some people will need things like personal independence payment, and that's just fact. Some people will need universal credit for now or forever, and that's okay. Some people will need UC for a bit, and then they won't because it won't be there. Well, ESA won't be. Them on ESA needs to start thinking about UC right now, like before now. I haven't been saying before now until now, but now it's before now. Now it's before. Now we should be already. And if you're not, come on, actually be thinking. And I'm going to be putting on webinars why you need to be thinking it, and what's the point in being a taxpayer, and what really is tax, and why do we do it. However, I am going to be questioning the idea that access to work is vatable, because the idea that 20% of my grant is VAT payable means that what's happening, I said to Ju this morning, what do they do with VAT? And he said, well, they pay for things. So there's no wonder that we put £1.67 back into the public coffer every time we have an access to work spend of £1, because £13,200 of my grant I'm awarded, because actually beyond the length of the grant, if it hadn't been capped, my grant is not the maximum. It's beyond that, but I can't access it because there's a cap. I would imagine if I was on £200,000 a year, it wouldn't matter because I wouldn't give a crap about putting 20 grand in or 50 grand in. But as it is, I'm not. I'm on just over £1,000 a month. So I think that's what it takes in order to wait for the 9 months that the government's taken to get to people, and beyond that, right? So we have to work and not take the money. That's why investors, entrepreneurs works, because we're invested in a committed future. We have a dream. We have an ego, but we also have a deep desire within to actualize, and disabled people particularly, and those that have been excluded, have a desire to actualize, a desire to have that legacy. We all have it, every one of us, I don't care who we are, that desire to fulfill inside us. And actually inclusion is a way that everyone can do that. Because what inclusion means is things like somebody messaged me and said, I've and it was kind of them, I've read this about the London Marathon, it should never have been like this, I didn't know. No, you didn't know. So what am I going to do about that? Well, I'm going to help people know. And I'll tell you how they're going to know, because I'm going to tell them on webinars like this. And how are they going to pay for it? Well, they're going to pay for it in the way that they think it's valuable. They're going to choose. People can vote with their feet. I've always said it. Vote with your feet. Don't give us anything if you don't want to. If you can't, we understand it. But if you can, then commit to yourself. Because I swear down, when you commit to yourself, miracles happen. This last year, I committed to my own private therapy, and I needed it. I was going into frontline services. And I committed, well, I won't talk about the amount I committed, but I did overnight. I literally went, there you go. That's for the next 9 months, like a pregnancy, like giving birth. And we're not at the end of that 9 months yet. But my God, am I grateful that she's in my life, because we built a relationship for good, solid 3 months, 4 months before I moved into frontline services. And without that relationship, I'm not sure I would be doing what I'm doing now. My miracle has been that this trimester of this giving birth is beautiful. It's hard work. It's a struggle. Remember, pregnancy is a disability if it lasts longer than 6 months and substantially affects you. And this pregnancy, this pregnant pause, this moment in development is powerful. This is the time when we are creating the future together. Couldn't have done it on my own, not a chance, because I couldn't have gone into that deep dive Monday to Friday between the hours of there and there. Don't worry, I'm working in the morning, I'm working in the evening. I think last night I may have been answering email at 1:30 because I'd had a chunk of sleep. I'm doing this I'm learning from some of the greats that learned how to sleep in a couple of sections. It's why we have these afternoons. There's method in the algorithm of the circadian rhythm. Who believes that God had made it like a thing? So there's not just a vibration. There's an algorithm. There's an alchemy about where you sleep, how you sleep, and what sleep does for you. And I've been tracking my sleep, and no, I'd never focused on myself because it had always been about everybody else. And then I included myself, created us, and oh my God, I had to include myself. Otherwise, there we were. So I'm bringing everything I've ever learned, as well as everything I've learned in this last 5 years since dying. Sounds a bit dramatic, doesn't it? But honestly, it changes you. And I'd like other dead people, sorry, people that weren't dead, that did die, but those people. We must have a club name. I would imagine some dead people will have a club name, like I was a previously alive person that died. I don't know what we call ourselves. I don't know the proper tower. I'm pronoun noodled. I don't know what to call myself. I say I'm NDA. D-Y, I mean. NDY. I don't think that's really PC. I'm sorry to all the people who are dead and not anymore. I'm sorry that I don't know the name for us yet. Please help me learn all the people that did have a death thing. If you did have a near-death experience, near the NDE, there, you see? Dyslexic. I'm in dyslexic style. I'm not even a real dyslexic. I'm a pretend dyslexic. I'm a dyslexic like learning style. I just look like a dyslexic, but I'm not because I can phonologically process, says the assessment. I don't really. I am one. I do the assessments, and I still don't think that's just what dyslexia means. I think it's a load of old rubbish. And I'm dyscalculic. I'm allowed to be that because I probably did get that mixed up. But in the dyslexia, I did too well to be dyslexic. But I clearly can't organise diddly. My executive functions up the yin yang. So nobody can really work it out who I am, but we do know that I've got an EduPsych report that says, oh, challenge. And so this week I'm proud that they're going to get me my talk type, where I talk in it type. So I've not been having to do this. It's not good. It's not good. So these reasonable adjustments that are going to happen, I'm going to tell you all about them in inclusion webinars where you can come and donate to inclusion, whatever the hell you want. And we'd quite like you to come in and donate £10,000 a time. Yeah, that'd be nice. And if you do, like, just put, look, big donation. How long can I have? Like, I feel, I'm not sure really, but like, put a big donation into inclusion, and we'll go and have dinner, whatever. I'm up for a weekend in Cardiff. Actually, come to the 29th of March if you're going to make a big donation in inclusion. We'll spend the weekend together, and I don't mean that in the we'll spend some time together in a nice environment with some pretty pictures. It's an art gallery. That's why you'll be seeing some pretty pictures, but not my pretty pictures this time. You never know, but just not yet because I'm not ready and I'm not naked. It sounds a bit dodgy. That sounds dodgy. It sounds like I'm being really dodgy now. That this time I'm not naked and there aren't pictures of me naked. That's not what we're running up to.
I think you better consider giving up a little behind it.
Yeah, it's not a plan. It's not a plan. I don't think it's a good idea because yet. But next summer we're going to be on the world. It's quite big. I say in the generic sense. I mean me. Obviously, it's not about me, but it is in that I will be on the world naked bike ride. I've not even joined yet. At 2025, not 2024, because I'm still not able. I'm still disabled. I need to fix my disability so that I can actually cycle it around London and not just in a cupboard. That wasn't very hard, was it? I just went round and round, and I still struggled. Fighting like a beast, ready. I need to be good. So I'm up in the stuff, and I'm making sure that I'm raising my vibration, and I'm doing that by giving away everything I've ever learned. I'm giving it away to inclusion because, well, you see, around Yell SOS, I've got a bit of a story, and I'm going to talk to you then. I've got a bit of a story. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. That I used to run Yell. It was a charity. When I died, sleep. And your 3-year award has just coincided with Yell's books being sorted and the government giving everything back and us having back the bank account and all the things that they put to sleep because I was dead. It does all add up. And it's come at exactly the same time as Chris having ratified those accounts. So everything's in order as it is, because we raised our vibration through love. And I love all of you, and I love what we're creating outside of me, because it's bigger than all of us put together. This is about inclusion, and I don't think there's anything else that we can have. So today, the only question I've got, actually, because we're at 9 o'clock, I'm aware that I've talked for an entire hour where you successfully and wonderfully listened to me here. But I think being here, right, and I think this is the thing about everyone online that nobody realizes, is just by being here, just by your energy, just by your focus. It's what we do in psychotherapy. If you don't turn up to a session, you can be sure I'm yours for that hour, because I'm thinking about why that didn't happen and what I can do different and what you might be going through. And I'm sending that, all of that energy about those vibrations being with you. You can resolve everything that you've got going on. Yesterday afternoon, or whichever day was that you were seeing them, I think it was Friday, wasn't it? Yeah, there we are. I forget what we were on Friday, aren't we? There we are. Yesterday, there we are. I was right. I was 2 o'clock. Oh, there we are. Yeah, exactly. We're nearly there. I was literally, my vibration was with you. And I just felt so proud that we did that together, and it was outside of me. Because if we can do it outside of me, then it's bigger than me, and that means that people can be helped, whether or not I exist, and that has to be the case. I think we're all looking for legacy, and that legacy for something to exist outside us, whether it's a baby, whether it's a business, whether it's our skill, whether it's our attitude, whether it's our becoming. And I just want to know, are you there for inclusion?
Yeah. 100.
Are you, Joe?
Yeah, definitely.
You didn't have to get disabled. You already were.
No, I already was. But it's that them hidden disabilities that they like for you to keep them hidden as well.
Well, especially
but
mental.
I've loved where you've been going this morning though, because as you say about the ego, my ego really did not help me. But now, because of the dark places it's took me, I just see that as training now, so that I can avoid and be stronger. Got this little thing around my neck at the moment, but it's around as of Wednesday because of the treatment, and I've listened to the people treating me that have been incredible at the NHS.
I would be dead without the NHS.
Yeah, they're incredible. They're just heroes. They really are. They were incredible in Salford Royal for me, the support they gave me. And when they checked everything out on Wednesday, it was like, that's really a great recovery. And I said, well, it's all part of how you work as a team. Each individual brings a different facet to the team. And luckily for me, I know how to hydrate. I'm feeling like a bit of a king this morning, really. But the crown's around my neck at the moment. But I know soon I'll have. It'll be off later, and I'll be celebrating today. I'm looking forward to a nice yellow bus ride out to Wigan and a nice evening out. But I'm going to have to have it on and off today to just go the distance, because it's going to be a long day today, a long, really nice day. And this has been a beautiful room, because you mentioned about the books, and I've got the Power of Eight. Well, The Love Rules of Eight by Mr. Shetty. Great book. And I'm just on to chapter 2 at the moment. Rule 2 about don't ignore your karma. And it's quite interesting how I've been studying for the last few years, and realised that some things will come to you. You just got to have the patience to wait. I'm quite patient at these days, because I know that sometimes you just got to wait for the moments to be right. I now know I need to be in recovery mode to get stronger and stronger each day. And
but you're showing it today, right?
Yeah, which is what's happening every day. My sleep today has been remarkable. I've had 3 of the best days sleep I've ever documented, ever.
Incredible.
And that's with near on
peace of mind.
About 6 years of journaling, but 3 years of really thorough journaling with this superb journal that I have. next to Pete and a few other, and it's a beautiful way of documenting your improvements. Because I know that it's best for me to evidence what I'm doing, so that when anyone asks me any questions, I can just show them that this is your life, the big red book, and I know that that'll bring me rewards in the future, because as I move this door at the side of me, I realised that these dates you keep giving me, which are in the journal and in the diary, I look at the year planner and all, and it's still got 23 written on it, and there's loads of grim dates on it from 2003 on it. So I'm gonna cheer it. Yeah, I'm gonna cheer it. I'm gonna cheer it up and put,
or anyone else.
Great dates on.
We're not crucifying anyone. Just saying. Well,
no, just making gradual improvements all the time.
Yeah,
just chipping away.
Well, I've heard that on Good Friday. We want celebration and king and queen and prince and princess and pretty. And I want to have a facial, and I want to see some pretty art and drink coffee and talk to each other and do this, but do it live so we can have hugs and share things. I've got samples for people. Like I've been stocking. It's like Christmas for me. It's like the kids. I used to stock up, and then when I saw the kids, like, or when I was with them, it got to Christmas, like, oh, here we are. They're like, what have you been doing all year? Yeah, my mum did the same, like hoarders. So I just do the same hoarding, but I've been doing it with product samples, because only the stuff I like. So really it is about me. But I also think it's about how I don't think I'm doing all right. I think I'm on a degree. I run a fantastic organisation. I think learning and living and loving. I've moved to a new place. I used to live in one room. When I arrived, I had nothing, like literally not a jot. I'd lost pretty much everything to an anomaly, frankly. I'm here. Lots of things like do not artificially resuscitate. I think I know how to be excluded. I think I'm good at that. I think like my Lumen app, which is a dog whistle for people that don't know how to manage their weight, actually, appears to be training me in how to eat properly. I was eating more than I was, actually, which is weird. So I've had to let my body get used to the fact that I'm eating lots of protein and not very many carbs, and lots of vegetables, and over 100, they reckon, a week. Vegetables. All these things are going to be shared, and why they're going to be shared is just the font of knowledge, because I absorb things that I enjoy. So I want to share these things with everybody, because I think they affect every disabled person. We have quite a lot of control over what we do. We have quite a lot of control about the things around us. I know that there's lots of changes happening to your built environment, Christian, as a result of some of the things that I've shared with you. And now your workfulness, you've had a job for the first time, you've just been given a 3-year contract. I think that's quite unusual in this market. Here's a 3-year contract. What? Okay. So we're creating futures, we're creating stability, giving rights and responsibilities, we're sharing them equally, and we're giving people an opportunity to be who the hell they are. And I think that's the best way. I think that inclusion has to exist until equity is served. And it will look like we are giving somebody preferential treatment when we hand over £10,000 equivalent and nearly 7k in the bank. It will look like preferential treatment, because we have to choose someone, unless somebody's going to give us £1 bazillion or a quadrillion, as me and Julian decided it would cost. A quadrillion. That was what Julian, as a buyer, had decided. Become self-employed. So that's what we've decided. £250 million. So unless they're going to do that, we still have to do this donation thing. So people need to donate. They need to come to the webinars, whether they've been to this one, actually. There, they've had enough mind drops. There, they can do that. Anyway, they've had a spiritual awakening. So I haven't put it on there, and I should, because I'm an idiot. So if you were here to the end, we're winning. If we weren't, then well, they are. You can always go and find me. It's not like difficult to find me, really. It's just not. If I do this, I think that means I just do that. Donate. Don't donate. If you've got a spiritual awareness or awakening, or even if you just thought, you know what, that ego of mine's quite loud, whereas I have had my voice quashed. My ego's been driving the train. Maybe if you think that the tail's been wagging the dog, if you're not so sure whether you have been inclusion, because you need to be inclusion, right? It's the head, heart, and hands of inclusion that we need. We need what we think, and then we need what we love, and then we need what we do. Inclusion is a verb. A verb. It's a doing word. I'm not getting stern. I'm just explaining that tithing, if you go in most of the religious connotations, is the way it needs to go. It just is. It's the algorithm of life, the 1 in 10. You know, the last will be first and the first will be last. You need to work out why everything's 1 and zeros. And then you work out why you've got to tithe 10% of your income. It just is a universal law. I can't make it up. I can't tell you. I can tell you why, and I will when you come and see one of the webinars that you can donate for. And then you move with your heart and your hands and your head as you make a bloody decision for yourself, and I don't decide. And then you can't argue about the fact that I don't. Do you need to stay down there, Christian, or are you all right coming up? Did you put yourself down accidentally, or are you finished?
Yeah, right. Don't do that on the phone, evidently.
Don't worry about that. It's all right. So I'm going to run away because I've got some coaching to do. But I just think we've raised our vibration this morning. I hope, Christian, that this next year, 3 years, is your everything that you were chosen for. I remember your mum, fairy, and she said, and I don't mean she was a girl. Well, she was, but you know what I mean. I'm not saying she was a fairy because she was a girl, or that she was a girl and she was a fairy. Her name was Fairy. That's what I'm saying. But she was a fairy, an actual one, I think. And I mean, she was magic. And she knew that you were here, and everything you were going through was for everything you were to become, didn't she? She always knew that. She knew you were special, and you are. It's special. No, I mean you are. No, we are. I'm not allowed to say that, but we are. No, we are, but we are, but we are. And some of us even went to special school, which is fantastic. I love special school. I want to go back. But it's not what you're allowed to do when you're 234,000 years old. You're not allowed to go to school. Although I am at school, so I don't know what I'm on about. We've got a 78-year-old that's at school, so we can go to school. I've got ages yet. I'm only 52. Oh, 21. I forgot. I forgot. I've just made that other one up. I can't be over half a century long. I think this has been a big story. Although I'm going to announce this. I got a bed settee. I put it together on my own. I don't know how, because Maureen couldn't do it. I'm not outing her, just saying she couldn't. Anyway, I did it. And I set it, and I turned on a TV, a real one, and I watched the Netflix series of something episode this morning, and I really concentrated on it. And it's like meditation for a neurodivergent human. It's making myself watch something for that long. So I did. I'm proud of myself. I won't be doing a lot of it. It's just because I set it up and it's in my lounge, so I can test whether people can watch it from where they're sat on that settee thing that I won't be using much of because I sit in my chair. So I bought it for everybody else, but it's a bed settee, so that means that people can come and stay, which means that if you make a substantial donation, you could always stay in my lounge and not even have to pay a hotel. So say you were going to pay, I don't know, 500 quid for a hotel for the weekend, you could just donate it, and then, I don't know, first person to pay it, and suppose they have my lounge, I don't know, something like that. I'll do anything to get this 10 grand or something. I live not pretty much anything, but you know what I mean. It means someone sleeping in my settee. In my settee. It means somebody sleeping in the lounge, and that's what it means. I can't do it for 20 quid. I hate it, really. So if you want to sleep in my lounge, even though I'm not there, you're gonna have to give me loads of money. I'm not sure that's much of an incentive for anyone. But there we are. Not for dinner, that person. I'd rather that. Really. I think you should make just as big a donation. I'll just go out to dinner. That'd be my preference. But that's the version in me avoiding the truth about connection. La, la, la. Anyway, so I am not limiting that. I'm saying that this house, actually, everyone's welcome. I mean, all at once. I know together we're better, you know.
Yeah, I know. Inclusion, but everybody, might go perhaps a little bit. We need to spread it out a little bit, eh?
Why did you move to Texas? Because we all wanted to go. Right, that's enough now. We're going to have to stop globally dreaming about global domination of inclusion, even though it's a given. I want to say thank you for being in Belonging in Business. I know it looks like we've gone rogue, but we have. We're raising our vibration and yours. You are our vibration, and we want you to join with us. We want you to donate as well. Donate to that thing that's scrolling along the bottom. Go and give it away now, all of it. Well, not all of it, 10% of it. If you haven't given anything away this year, go give it. Because honestly, you'll get more back, like 10, thrice-fold at least. I'm not guaranteeing. It's not a money-back guarantee. I'm not saying give me that and I'll give you that. I'm just saying that gives you back in ways that you will never imagine. Try it. Donate to inclUSion. It's a right. It really. It's not even treating people fairly. It's just doing the right thing. So if you are for inclUSion, come on board. If you're not, well, come and see me. I think we're all absolutely amazing, and I'm going to say goodbye because I need a break and my battery is about to go. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a lovely
Bye,
weekend.
everyone.